everybody, Brendan Farron, that Dexter Cow Guy. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Today we're coming from recorded from beautiful South Dakota, Hot Springs. I'm here with Jim Woehl, president of the ADCA, who's been an amazing host, and I can't thank you enough for your hospitality and everything you guys have done for us since we've been up here.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks. He's smirking, he's lying.
Never see you. You're out sightseeing.
Yeah, we did a lot while we were here, and it's been tremendous this whole time. So, and we love your property, love the setup. It's everywhere I go makes Michigan look worse and worse. It's like the mountains are calling me now, between Smoky Mountains and Tennessee, and then coming here.
Yeah. Well, as we've talked about, though, the biggest problem here is that this is a semi-arid area, so even though we've got 300 acres, we can probably raise a whole lot less than what you could raise on 40 acres in Michigan. So
sure.
So productivity, we're good on scenery, but we raise really good rocks and trees. Grass, yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah. So tell us about your farm. Tell us about High Pines.
Well, we both my wife and I, Peggy, were raised on ranches, commercial ranches, and after college, we had to live in town for a while, but we were always looking for a piece of land, and we were able to get this one purchased back in the mid-1990s, and it was raw land. So we had to do everything from the fences to the barns to the well to everything. And so it's always a work in progress. There's always the next project, and something we built 20 years ago is now it's like, well, maybe we should do this. So it's, and we originally didn't start out with Dexters, but a year or two into it, as the kids left, we were looking for a smaller breed of cattle, and we looked at all the smaller breeds, and we just kept coming back to Dexters because they do well in climates like this. They do well on forage. That's not always that great, and they do well in the rocks, which we've got a lot of. And so it was a great decision. We've never looked back. It's just been a labor of love ever since. So.
Okay, for those that don't know, Jim's big on the dun color.
Yeah, we started out, we've had and have all three colors, but we just decided years ago as red became the most popular color that we didn't want to see the rest of the colors disappear, and the blacks were fairly well represented. And some of our first animals that we purchased up in Montana were done, and we just really liked them, and so we said okay, and hence was our motto, it's a done deal. So.
I like it. I like it. So we're picking up a cow. Was she 2 years old or 3? I think she's two.
She's two.
So tell us about Amber. Amber's the one we're bringing home with us.
Well, Amber is out of one of our foundation cows, Jade. So Peggy, my wife, does the naming. So this is the precious stone line. So all of Jade's calves have all been named for precious stones, hence the name Amber. We've got a lot of her blood in there, and that's why we felt like we could part with Amber. She's a great dual purpose animal, which is what we breed for. So she's one that you can milk. Every animal we sell or raise, for that matter, is halter trained before they ever leave the place. And she's just that good moderate-sized cow that we breed for, and with a good temperament. And so she happens to be polled, but we've got both polled and horned animals. We dehorn everything, but because we don't have the issue that some people have with wolves and whatnot, so we do dehorn. So yeah, it's
just the occasional mountain lion.
Just the occasional mountain lion. And by and large, they're a very shy animal. So unless they were really hungry, they don't really get after the cattle. So
tell us, you have 2 herds, one in the pasture, and one on pasture, I guess you would say, and then one captive. And the one on pasture has that funny looking white Dexter.
Yep. This is the original white Dexter. That's our donkey.
All right.
And that's a guard donkey too, that he, with coyotes and whatnot, that he will, just like the Great Pyrenees dogs or whatever, the donkeys do the same thing. The reason we split the herd was because of our rocks, we can't split our place into paddocks like we would love to.
Sure.
But just cannot. So we have one perimeter fence. So we have 2 bulls, and so the reason that one batch is captive in our corrals, which is pretty good size, they're about an acre big, but it's so that we can use 2 different bulls to breed.
Sure.
And that's the reason that we use them well, in the next day or 2 we will put both of those back out in the pasture because breeding season's just about done.
Sure.
So that's the reason for the 2, and we just don't have the fencing to have the paddocks that would be much better, but we just don't.
I don't know. I think that might be a matter of opinion, because I'm pretty jealous. So you have 300 acres.
Yep.
And the cows run it all.
They do. It's just one, and it's interesting about the Dexters, and we've noticed this and been confirmed by some really old breeders. Dexters have enough of that Irish wild left in them that they take off a different direction each day. The only water is here at the place, and so they have to come into water. But then they will come in from the west, they will leave from the east, they will come in from the south. And so the Dexters are like buffalo, they walk and they graze. If you ever look at Angus, Herefords, some of the real domesticated breeds, that they won't take a step if there's one more blade of grass. They don't walk and graze. They graze till it's all gone, then they take a step. So it's just a little bit of difference that we've noticed in the Dexters, and then have confirmed it with some of the old Dexter breeders, and they kind of laugh and say, "Oh, you noticed that, did you?"
I gotta say, I don't know if I noticed that. Now I'm gonna have to watch on my herd when we go home.
So they do. They will be a lot more walking and grazing and they don't tromp as near as much grass as some of the other commercial breeds.
That I know already, for sure.
Yeah.
So when did you get your first Dexter, I guess?
It was about 2000,
okay,
maybe 1999, someplace in that. We went down we looked around. It was a 2-year process of looking, and so when people wonder how long it takes to get involved in this, there's a lot. So it was 2 years that we looked at all the breeds and decided. Then we went down to south central Nebraska and bought our first 2 cows, and then bought a bull from that same guy. And then the following year we found some Dexters up in Plentywood, Montana, which is just like Antelope, Montana. Thank you. My wife just corrected me. We were in Antelope, Montana. It's about 5 miles from the Canadian border, and we bought our first duns there. They were horned duns, and that was the foundation herd, and then we've just been working it ever since. We don't change our cows a lot. We change bulls, and then we sell our older cows and as we keep getting to the Dexter that we're looking for. So we move cows and we change bulls. We just got in a bull from California, as we've talked about.
Yep.
And so that's how we change our genetics. Do a little bit of AIing on occasion, but mostly it's by changing bulls.
Okay. So you guys show quite a bit.
We do. We decided back, the 50th anniversary of the American Dexter Cattle Association was in Grand Junction, and we decided that our kids were gone, but we had all this stuff from 4-H and that they showed with, and Peggy and I had showed as kids. And the beautiful thing about showing Dexter animals is we don't do all the adhesives and all of that stuff. We clip them, we wash them, we show them, and that's why you can show 5 or 6, 7 animals. And we went over to Grand Junction, and we just had a blast. I mean, everybody helps everybody. It's a big social event. It's not cutthroat, it's not anything, and that got us started, and so we've been showing ever since. We generally show 4 or 5 times a year. We've tried to go to all of the AGMs. We did not take cattle to Texas, but we did take them to Fort Wayne, Indiana. So it's just enjoyable, and it's as much social as anything.
Yeah.
And it's all of us agree that do this, that it's been a great advertisement for the breed. So many people come up and have never heard of the breed, and they appreciate it, and so I think it's been a real boon to the breed to get them out there in all venues, and now we've got shows in most parts of the country, from in Ohio where you're at to Washington, down in Texas, Missouri. So I think showing has helped advertise the breed better than anything. People get to see how docile they are. They get to come up and pet them and talk to the breeders and understand that it's not a commercial breed. It is a niche breed. We're never going to take out the Angus, so don't want to. We serve a totally different purpose. And at all of our shows, we have milking classes, so people see that, yes, these are dual-purpose animals. You can milk them as well as... And the only thing that I've never been to a show where... out here, we've never used them as oxen, but I know back on the East Coast, they use them in draft, and we've just never been to a show where we could ever do that. That's on my bucket list. I do want to train a pair of Dexter steers in draft.
I think that'd be great to have.
That's a bucket list, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm there yet. I think we need to show a bit. I think baby steps. We're going to have to show for a few years before we start taking on something new. So tell me, or tell us, how long have you been in the ADCA, and how did you get to be president? And I know you're acting president now.
Yep. Right now I'm acting president, but started out, this was right at the time of the split of the ADCA. And the reason I chose the ADCA was because of the business model. They had a treasurer, secretary. It seemed to me it was just a better fit. Through the course of time that I was then asked to be a regional director, which is South Dakota, for us, South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and was regional director for 2 years. And then Pam Malkut, who was president at the time, asked me if I would consider running for president. President then from 2013 to 2016, and then was the immediate past president. And then because Lisa Reed was our president, and she had some family and extenuating circumstances that she had to step down, and so the board asked me to step back in as acting president. It was supposed to be till just this June. I was supposed to be out of this thing by now, because of the pandemic. That it's going to be till next June when we have our AGM in Ohio. Then there'll be a new president. So it's been great. I've got to meet people from all over the country, and Dexter people are just warm and welcoming, and it's been a blast. It's not been difficult. It really hasn't. So.
No. Yeah, you're kind of in the mid country where I think that would be the heaviest concentration of Dexter owners. Maybe in the region there is compared, I don't know.
Really not. Big commercial cattle here. The bullseye of the Dexter world is around Missouri. Chad Williams has a Dexter place in Manassas, and Chad did some great work of looking at the demographics of the Dexter herd and the national herd, and the bullseye is actually still in and around Missouri, and it kind of goes out from there. I think Ohio and in that Ohio Valley region is quickly catching up too, and out in Utah we're seeing a big resurgence and a big surge there. So the national Dexter herd is increasing, but still, if you did the demographics, the in and around that Missouri, Kansas area, Arkansas, some of that is probably still the center. Mississippi, I mean, you start naming all the states, because Dexters are just growing by leaps and bounds, which is why when we got Dexters, one of the other reasons was that they were on the endangered list.
Yeah.
From the National Conservancy. We've been removed from the endangered list, and we are just on the watch list. So, in just a very short period of time, we've made some huge strides in the national herd. So.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, like I tell everybody, the short time that we've been involved, we can see how much it's grown. I think we're going on our 7th year, I think, and it's it's growing by leaps and bounds. I don't know if the social media helps us out so much, or
I think it does. It gets the word out to where we had a show here locally 3 years ago. We started, and people come up to my wife Peggy and said, "How come we've never heard of this breed before?" And so we asked them, well, where do you read? Where should we advertise? And they couldn't answer us. So I think the answer to your question, yeah, social media has been a great boon. There's always the good with the bad. But again, the Dexter breeders have been, by and large, extremely responsible on social media, and so it's fun to watch and read all the posts and see the animals. Well, you get to see animals from all over the country.
Yeah, without having to travel to a million shows to catch them.
Well, and that was the other thing when you talk about social media. With the pandemic, we were, it's like, okay, we still want to have a show. How do we do this? And so we had this virtual show this year. And so out of every cloud has a silver lining, I guess, because people have never shown at the national show because they feel like it's too far. We're able to show in the national show because it was a virtual show.
Sure, I guess I didn't think about that. Yeah, absolutely.
So we had people from all different parts of the country. It was their first time showing because we were able to do it virtually. So, if you look for it, there's always a way that you can make something good happen, and that one did. And so our virtual show this year was really cool. It was fun to look, and I'm still going back and looking at the pictures and getting to see animals I've never seen before. So yeah,
we saw a few. We tried to video. we had an epic fail at trying to get our cow to cooperate when the camera equipment was on.
Yeah.
So we were like, you know what, we'll plan for October.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, we'll hit the first ones we can, you know, after this pandemic.
That's it. We had very much intended to show, but we had 2 animals. We thought we're all ready to go. Unfortunately, my work took it, so I just couldn't. You know, that the pandemic kept me too busy to even get a chance to show in the time frame. So it was okay. We still we didn't get to, but a whole lot of people, again, first timers got to. So maybe now it's again, it'll help maybe in their region to start getting out. And it's a great marketing tool. It's a great marketing tool.
Yeah, and it's probably half addicting because it seems like most of the stuff that we do with the cows, once you do it once, you want to keep getting better and better at it.
Yeah, and it's a social thing, and it shows we get to see people that we haven't seen but once a year, and we help each other, and you know, it's one year in Nebraska, I developed a bad bloody nose, I had to go to the hospital. I said, don't worry about the animals, we'll be back. And you know, we won't show, we'll just watch. When I got back from the hospital, other Dexter breeders had come out of the stands, got our cattle ready, and they showed them for us.
Oh, amazing.
And so yeah, they did not have to do that. They could have left them, but that'll get you hooked on things real quick.
Yeah. We have always said it, the Dexter community has been amazing, and I think you've even set the bar higher with welcoming us out here and giving us a place to stay and giving us the must-see sites, you know, so that was good. Something we might have missed otherwise, you know. We know about the big 3.
Yeah.
And we get a beautiful cow.
Yeah, no, Amber is a pretty girl, and we like her. But yeah, no, the Black Hills are beautiful. They're just expensive. So whatever we can do to help, it's been a pleasure. So, and to get to know new people. That's the big part of this business to us, is get to know people from all over the country. So
that's what we think too. That's why we tried to stop at a couple. We only stopped at one. We visited Lynn, and I canceled the other one just because we were going to try to push through the night, and then that didn't work out either.
Yeah,
so we could have probably went. So I apologize for that. But so you tried to teach me a new skill today, and you see how hard that is.
Yeah. Well, those on the camera can see that. Yes, we were working cows today.
Yeah, I'm covered in manure because I try to learn something new. So I think Jim can appreciate the struggle my wife deals with daily. You know?
What we did was we drew blood from the tail head to preg check a cow, and you send the blood into a lab and they check it. It's 99% accurate. And if you don't have access to a veterinarian when you want a preg check or get the ultrasound, it's just a real quick and easy way. It's extremely accurate. And we use a lab down in Laramie, Wyoming, and again, you draw the blood from the tail head, and with a little bit of practice, I still miss. You saw me miss today. We had to do a couple times, but it's really a quick and easy way. You don't have to involve a veterinarian. You package it up, you send it to the lab, and they email you the results, and you've got them in like 3 days. So.
Well, if you're like me, you might have to involve a veterinarian after you try. The tail might fall off that cow.
I don't think so. The needles are pretty tiny.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. But we have a clip of that we'll show right now at this point, so you guys can see my epic fail. But I did learn a bunch, trying it even. I mean, I guess that's how you start. You got to do it somewhere.
You got to try. You do.
So I appreciate that for letting me try, but we'll show the clip here.
Okay.
All right.
So again, you feel the ridge right there. Just come down below the ridge, and then it should be right in there someplace.
All right, and go the whole needle depth.
Go the whole needle depth. And oh, come on.
All right, so first time for me. The old pro did it. Now the Joe Schmo's gonna do it.
Oh yeah, the pro. He did it about 5 times on her last time.
I got 1 cc of blood.
How about there?
Let's see.
Come down to the ridge. That's about.
Come down to the ridge, and then go in at a 90-degree angle to her, not to you. So kind of a little bit up, about like that.
So right about here.
Yep.
Okay. So no air. That's a bad thing.
Well, you can pull back a little bit. That way you can see the blood. Pull back just a touch. There you go. Okay. That way when the blood comes, you can see it, and then you can just start to draw.
So I'm going to go about this angle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, girl.
It's all right. She's okay.
Go on in.
I don't think I got it.
Nope. Okay, come back out. Go straight in this time. Like I say, 90 degrees to her.
All right, so parallel to her. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I feel bad.
No, it's okay.
Don't worry. He's done it about 6 times for her.
I missed again.
It's okay. going to go a little bit off to the right, off to the left.
There, I think I got it. No, I didn't. This poor cow.
I missed on her. This is the one I missed on the other day 4 times. Oop.
Yeah, she'll dump on
Yeah,
you.
that's fine. I deserve it.
You're messing with my butt, she says.
I'm just not. I'm just not in the right spot.
Nope. Come out and go back in about a 1/2 inch below where you were. So about come off the ridge and then go in about.
Here I'm thinking.
See Peggy turn her tail straight.
Can I let down the tail for a minute? I'm sorry, my arms are good.
No, that's fine. It's my fault.
You're okay, girl.
Sorry, sweetheart.
Okay.
I wish I had cookies for you.
As you can see, she's had more than her share. So when the tail's nice and straight, and then go in just about right in there too.
Alright, here we go again. I'm sorry, girl. What am I missing? Maybe I will take a shower.
You will.
That's why I went and put on my dirty pants.
Oh, I think I'm gonna let the pro do it.
All right, well, I'll try it.
I feel too bad, but
Okay.
I'm glad I got to try.
Put down. Stand up. Stand up.
There you go.
There we go. There we go. All right.
Done.
Good girl.
Show off.
Get your brother.
Open the gate. Open the gate.
I'm so sorry, sweetheart. So you don't have to put pressure on it.
Nope.
She's jammed it.
Here. Let go. Give me this. Thank
Yeah.
That cow. Huge. You're huge.
I feel you on that one.
No.
All right, that's not how to do it.
Different.
Hey everybody, that Dexter Cow Guy here. I just want to take a quick second to kind of put a disclaimer in, if I may. What you just saw was done under supervision of Jim Woehl. Jim has been doing this for years and years and years and years and years. So I don't recommend anybody that's green or new at doing this just to go out, grab your tail, grab your cow's tail and start stabbing it in the demon hole. There was more to it than that, and obviously I missed rookie mistakes, and that's how you learn. But I suggest when you learn, you have an actual person with experience that has done it there, or even a vet. I don't want to get a call from anybody's vet and say, hey, Dexter Cow Guy, my client just tore up the back of the side of their cow by stabbing with a needle because they watched your show. So don't do that unless you have supervision, and I think it's a great skill to learn. I think people should. Don't be afraid to try, but do it with supervision. Be smart about it. Don't hurt your animals. So I guess that's all I want to say. I hope you're enjoying the episode this far. It's one of my favorite ones that I've done. Great time. Even though I sat there covered in manure with Jim, poor guy. It was my fault, of course, as everything is on this show. But enjoy the rest of it. Thanks, guys. That's what I wanted to say. All right, so now you guys see why we're covered in manure. My fault. I take full responsibility.
That was Garnet. She was just paying us back. So.
I deserved every bit of that and more. So again, I appreciate you trying to teach me that. I mean, and like you said, it's a skill that I'll have to acquire as I do it more.
Yeah, it's one that I think you do need a chute. I don't think it would be good to try without some kind of a restraint, whether you use 2 panels or a chute or whatever. Which the animal does need to be restrained, and if you have somebody to pull the tail up over their back, they don't kick, and that way you can get back and do what you need to do. So.
Okay, and I have someone. Her name's Cheryl.
There you go. And Peggy does all the tail holding for me, so I don't want to make her angry, because if she lets that tail go, I could get hurt.
So is your chute secured to the ground, or is it just? No. Okay.
No, but it weighs about 1,500 pounds.
See, because that was one of the things we don't know if we were going to dig a big post holes and secure ours to it, but I don't think any of our cows are big enough to really.
I don't think you really need to. I believe in chutes. Again, I grew up on a commercial ranch, and so I'd like to secure them. Not everybody has that capability to do, so using 2 panels to squeeze, or multiple different ways to do it. But you just got to have some way to secure the animal, because even though they're very tame and gentle, and when you start doing some of these things, they're like us. They're going to jump, they're going to move, and they weigh a lot more than we do.
Yeah, and they have to restrain me at the dentist a lot.
So there you go. It's the same story.
Yeah, for sure. So how many head do you guys have currently between the pasture herd and the...
We have got 15 brood cows right now.
Okay.
And we will probably, again, because we rotate and keep trying to improve, we have yet to see the perfect Dexter. That's the fun of it. And so we sell some of our older cows, or they go to market, and then we keep the younger stuff. Our place will hold that 12 to 15, 17 head. That's about it. Even though we've got 300 acres, as you've seen, it's just not that productive. So we're at about where we like to keep it.
Sure.
This year we did acquire some animals up in Montana that are going to be just for beef, and so we've got a few extra head just because the beef market for the pandemic, and they were overstocked. We needed the beef, so it was a good match, and so we bought the animals back, and we will get them fed out and then use them for beef. And
sure, I think that's nationwide right now, I believe.
Yeah, it really is, and I think that we've talked about it on our board of directors meeting, that this is a real opportunity for all Dexter breeders to really work and develop that regional economy and sell your product, and whether it's Dexter beef, milk, cheese, your eggs, whatever. But I think that it's a real opportunity for small time agriculture to get back into the picture.
Grab a good part of the market. I think
the farmers markets are huge resurgence now.
Yeah, and I think everybody, if you haven't found a farmer's market by you, I strongly suggest you do it, because once you go to a fresher produce, and if you're fortunate enough to find beef cuts there, I think you'll not go back to store bought. I think that's and for good reason. So
yeah, just when you go to a farmer's market, if you're going to be a vendor at a farmer's market, you'll need to make sure that it's at a locker plant that can be it's either state or federally certified.
So what is, now I ask this for everybody, and they've all been positive, and they're all close to the same thing. So I try to ask everybody, because there's going to be the different answers. Like mine's vastly different than most people's. And what is your favorite Dexter memory?
Oh boy, it involves, I think for us, it involves the Dexter people. There's through the years it kind of all blends together, but there's memories of Jeff Chambers and I. We've talked about took some cattle up to Canada of his, and the memories of crossing the border there, and all the stuff you have to go through, and all the different the shows we've been to, just at our national meeting of getting to meet all the people that walk around. And so it's always the cattle are the central theme, but it's the people.
Sure. And
so that is absolutely one of the reasons why I was willing to say yes to be president again, because it's the people. They're just I think we're kind of a unique breed. Every Dexter person, as we've talked about, is probably a little more independent. They want to do things their own way, and that's the Dexter breed meets that niche. If you want horns, we got horns. You want polled, we got polled. You want black, we got it. Red, no problem.
Yeah.
Big ones, little ones, we're okay. We got that too. And so that it really fits that independent nature of a whole lot of people, and so that's what's made it a blast for us. So there's really no one memory that sticks out. It's kind of a collage of, it's been a good ride, and we don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Yeah. So I imagine you'll be involved in the ADCA in some fashion after the presidency is done.
When the presidency is done, I will be the immediate past president again. And then it'll be time for me to rotate off. That's, I think, the beauty of our association is it's new blood. We try not to have the same people. The board I work with now is entirely different than the board I worked with 4 years ago. And again, that's what makes the organization dynamic and fresh, and getting new ideas so that you don't get stagnant.
Sure, and the immediate past president, I gotta say, is like the designated survivor. If for any reason the new president can't fulfill its duties, be it family, whatever, for whatever reason, then you step back up to be president until
until they can. And you also have the vice president. But this year, our vice president, Kimberly Jepson, is doing an amazing job. But she's new just to the association, and not new to the association, but new to the board, and to assume the presidency was just more than that she wanted to do.
Okay, and you can't blame her for that.
No, not at all. And so that's, and it's up to the board. Speaking of flies, but it's up to the board then, and they do a vote, and that's where the president comes from. So
sure. Yeah. So with the flies, I got to believe being covered in manure doesn't help our situation any.
No, it's like perfume, it's a cattle tape, you gotta have a little color on. So
that's witness to say I did something, even though it was wrong. Where would you like to see the Dexters as a breed go from where they are?
I think
if that makes sense.
I think we have to do one thing, is we have to develop the beef side. Any beef is a terminal industry. At some point in time, everybody cannot raise breeding stock and keep selling breeding stock. So personal bias, we register too many bulls. We need to get that number down, and we need to butcher more steers. Not every female is meant to be a brood cow. We need to start putting some of those into our food chain. So I think as we've gotten enough animals now into the national Dexter herd, we can start being more selective.
Sure.
20 years ago, anything was good, but now we're 20 years in, we don't have to do that. We can be very selective, both male and female, and really accentuate our national herd. And by better, I do not mean bigger. I do not mean bigger. That's we need to maintain the moderate size of the Dexters. We need to maintain the dual purpose, but we just need to develop some of those aspects of our herd. We need to really push more and more people. And the pandemic is proving it. We've had people stop by looking for land. They're trying to get out of the cities. They want to be more self-sufficient. So I think there's a real opportunity to market our breed of saying, this fits people like you.
Yeah.
Our average owner still has 5 or 6 Dexters. That's it. So we're not an association of people of 100 cows and that.
Sure.
So that, you hit double digits, like, we got 15. Oh, geez, we're a big breeder. Not really, but that's,
as far as Dexters go, yeah.
Yeah, so that's, and we want to keep that. We want to keep that part of it. And I think we just need to keep developing, keep who we are, keep a hold of who we are. We want to maintain that we keep all facets of our herd. I want to keep chondro in the herd because it serves a purpose. All 3 colors, obviously, the horned and the polled. Because it fits everybody's needs. So that makes us, as I've told you, that my mantra has always been, and I sign all of my correspondence of celebrate the diversity of Dexter cattle, and I believe that's what's going to propel us going forward.
Sure.
And this pandemic, I think, is going to make another surge of people looking for cattle like ours.
Yeah, I hope, and yeah, I agree. I think we've already seen the tip of the iceberg to that, and I think hopefully it does not, but if the pandemic progresses more, even more will be on board.
Yeah.
As such, I mean, and they can't go wrong with Dexters, I don't think. I mean, they're too versatile.
They are. They're so versatile, and because they're smaller, they don't eat as much. You can have more. The milking properties of them make it, and they do great. They're in all 50 states, so they do good in any environment. So yeah, I think there's just a real possibility and a real promise that the Dexters are going to come out of this very well. And the ADCA hopes to be part of that and helping people, educating people. That's why our national show and sale, about 4 or 5 years ago, we decided it had to be a big educational event, and we still believe that. That's why we partner with whatever university we happen to be close to. Next year it'll be with Ohio State. We've already got speakers that we're working on with them. Last year, and it would have been this year, we were at the University of Nebraska. We had some of their geneticists and nutritionists and all that stuff come out and talk. Years gone by, we've had people from the University of West Virginia and so on and so on. So that's where we as an association, we register cattle and we maintain the registry. That's what we do. Beyond that, I think, as part of our charter is to help educate people, and so they can be good stewards of the breed as well, and that's what we want to continue to do.
Yeah, and I think people like us, like coming from a suburb area, moving rural and starting out new, we thirst for that knowledge, and learning, and we're
Yeah.
trying to learn everything we can, and then discerning what is real and what isn't on Facebook. I mean, it's on the internet, it's got to be true.
Right, it has to.
So actually talking to the scientists and people involved hands-on is great. It's amazing for us. I mean,
yeah, and the different feeds and everybody, if they use their extension agents, every region of the country is different. They will tell you which feeds are the most economical, you're going to get the most bang for your buck. So we're big proponents of using the extension service because it's your tax dollars. You're paying for it. The Department of Agriculture does that in every county in the nation. And so that's a huge benefit too. But that's where we just want to be part of the equation to help people enjoy this breed like we have. So that's
every day is a great day when you go out and you can see your cows and interact with them.
And you learn every day. I was raised on a ranch and then took a break when I was in the military and college. But you learn every day. Always the day that I think I know everything is the day I need to sell out, because then I'm lying to myself.
Right.
Because you learn every day. There's just so much to learn and do out there, and every day's different. So.
Would you think there's anything coming up for people to look forward to from the ADCA? I hear the Ohio show is shaky right now.
Yeah, and we hope it goes. That's where we're going to host our national meeting at. And we're going to live stream from that. Our national show next year will be in Ohio, we hope. And so that's going on. We've got some really exciting things coming up right now. We're working on Jill, our registrar, and we've hired a company we're rebuilding our registration software. And there's some really exciting stuff that's going to come out of that, where it's going to be able to be used as a marketing tool. It'll be our registration software. Nobody will be able to get to that. That's secure. There's going to be a different portion of it to where you're actually going to be able to market your animals through the ADCA website through that software.
Nice.
We're probably a year and a half out on that as we go through the phases of development. But again, to try to help the members, because we're so diverse and across the nation. You drove from Michigan to get here.
Yep.
So to try to get people so that they can get that information to find that right animal for them and get those people together. And that's what we hope this new software will do.
Yeah, it does take a while to develop for sure, anything like that. I mean, even when it's released, there'll be bugs,
Oh, there will be. Our new website, we're still debugging every day. We work with Ranch House, and the new website, all of our members agree it's better, but we're debugging it every day.
Sure. So I don't know if we're going to take a cow, assuming the Ohio Valley takes place. We sold the heifer actually that we were going to bring. So I don't know if we're going to do that, but I will be there with a table for the podcast.
Okay.
If you guys need any help, throw me in. I already told Alyssa with the youth program, if she needs any help, by all means pull me into it. And if you guys need help in any other facet, don't hesitate to ask.
We have no problem using volunteers, because that's everybody in the ADCA, from myself, the board of directors, youth directors, everybody. We are all volunteers. We get paid exactly the same as you.
Right?
However, when I did become president this time, they promised that they were going to double my salary.
Right. And they have.
And they have.
Nice. So, is there anything you want my 3 watchers? I have 3 people that watch this.
Well, God bless you.
Yeah. Maybe 4 on a good day. No, I'm actually building listeners and watchers, but is there anything you want from the average Joe to the seasoned rancher to know? I mean, about anything in particular with the Dexters?
Well, the Dexters, I think, is number one, the versatility of the breed. I think that's for people that are tuning into your podcast, and we hope maybe I think they can learn. I've watched some of them. I think that they're all been very well done, and there's something to be learned from each one of them. And it's always a learning process. Do your research before you buy cattle. Do not jump in too early and then regret it. And same way to our seasons people, don't sell to people if they're not ready. Do your homework and make sure that you're selling to people that have got what they need to be successful in this. I know we spend a lot of time talking to people and making sure that they're ready. As far as the association, again, we want to grow with the breed and just keep it so that it becomes more dynamic. And we always want to be that homestead cow. We always want to be that dual-purpose breed with the nice moderate framed. And And that's why we genetically test all of our animals, so that people don't thinking they're going to improve the breed and crossbreed up. It's what happened to the Angus breed, and that's why when I grew up, a good Angus cow was 900 pounds. Now they're 1,800 pound cows. That's because of genetic integration. We know that's happened in the Dexter breed in days gone by. We can't fix that. That's gone. What we can do is take today and move forward. That's why we genetically test all the animals, so that when you get an ADCA animal, it is genetically pure Dexter. It's not a crossbred. We want to keep that, because I think there's something of real value in these small dual-purpose homestead cows.
Sure. And there are small, medium, and large without chondro aside.
Right.
There are the small, medium, and large.
Yeah, and it's what you breed for.
Sure.
And ours were getting a little bit big, so this latest bull we brought is smaller, so we can bring our size back down to keep that size in the moderate frame. But we still like the beef characteristics, and if they don't milk good, we don't want that either. So
yeah,
we're greedy. We want it all. So.
Right. Well, that's the right cow to ask it for. And to ask for all of it. So, all right, I think we can leave off there. Unless there's something you want to add that I didn't ask, can you think of?
I don't. Hopefully, let's go do what you were after. So
for sure.
It's just fun.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you again for your time in doing the interview. It's one I really wanted to do. I use it as an excuse to come out buying the cow. I mean, that was one of the best decisions I think I've made. Thank you again for your hospitality to both Cheryl and I, and opening up your place to us and selling us a terrific animal.
Well,
and if anybody can see, I don't know how well I have a picture dump to do that from around here, but I don't know if the photographs can even do the beauty justice around here. I mean, it's so amazing out here.
The Black Hills are a undiscovered little gem, and we like it, but it's been our pleasure to host you, and and get to know you guys a little bit, and look forward to yet another new friend the friendship we can build for many years to come.
Sure,
so.
Absolutely, us too. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I should thank my sponsors. I didn't do that at the beginning. Emily Boovy from Zeeland, Michigan, from Shamrock Meats. I don't know why I screwed this up. I've only said it a million times.
Yeah.
Raised by their family to feed yours. And Mike Ligorio from Field and Stream Taxidermy. Thank you guys again. And to everybody else, tune in next time and get out there and love on some Dexters. See you next time.